Okay guys, so today I am on my own. Erica has gone away for the night for work, and so I thought what I would do is a day of eating, showing you guys what I eat when Erica isn't my own personal chef. So first off, I'm going to make lamb shanks in the slow cooker. So I'll get that ready now before I have my breakfast, and then I'll also show you what I'm going to take for my lunch. Okay, so I am going to get my lunch ready. Now also what I was going to do today was track, so you can see how I would track a day of eating and what my macros are, and also how to just enter all of this into Cronometer. So first of all, because I'm tracking, I'm going to weigh everything. So I'll get all the ingredients out. Again, it's about simplicity for me. So one of the easiest go-to lunches if I've got to make my lunch is salami and just some salad and some mayo. So I'm going to do 100 grams of salami. Okay, so that's 100 grams. That's a lot of salami, but I want a lot of fat, so that's why I've gone with a lot of salami, and the vegetables are just kind of not going to offer me much more than that. So then I'm going to do 100 grams of cucumber. Now we like the cubes because they're a little bit easier to manage and they're great for salads. So that's about 3 cucumbers. Just going to do 50 grams of cherry tomatoes. And yes, I've written this down so that I can track it later. Okay. And some pickles. So I'm going to do 30 grams of pickles, which may only be one pickle, see. $2.50, so we're going for $2.80. I could probably get away with 2. Okay. And some olives. 40 grams of olives. Okay, so that is my lunch. That is so simple. And I was going to do a couple of tablespoons, or 1 tablespoon of mayo. And I'll just dip the cucumbers and the tomatoes in the mayo to make it tasty. Okay, so that is what I'm going to have for lunch. I will sort out my breakfast and then I'm going to jump onto the computer and add the lunch and the breakfast into the Cronometer so you can see what my macros are, and then at dinner time I'll add in dinner so you can see that as well. So breakfast is the same for me every day. I make 3 fried eggs and I just put some salt and pepper on them. And I also have about 2 tablespoons roughly of sauerkraut, and that's because of the gut issues and trying to heal some of my gut. The other thing is I take some of these, they're not really obvious, but they're hydrochloric acid, which is also designed to help with my gut. So I'm going to get the breakfast ready and we will track them at some point. So I'm just using a teaspoon of duck fat. You can use any fat really, but because of dairy free I'm not using butter. Okay, that's breakfast, pretty simple. That's what I have every morning. I will say this has taken quite a while and I'm extremely thankful that Erica always makes dinner and she usually gets my lunch out and ready for me to take. So I'm very, very lucky because this has taken a lot longer than I expected it to. Now on to the tracking. So first of all, we need to track breakfast, which was 3 eggs. So we just type in eggs. Now I'm going to choose raw eggs because I want to enter in the fat myself. So we've got 3 raw eggs and then I used duck fat. So just choose, usually our ones are not going to be there, so I just choose what it was and I used a teaspoon. So we'll go with, this is all really kind of estimates because it's all rough for me. Now, the other thing that I had was the 2 tablespoons of fermented vegetables. Now the one I use is not in here, so I'm going to enter it in as a food and then add it into my diary. Okay, so the serving size for the fermented vegetables that I used is 30 grams, which is, again, rough. I'm going to go with 30 grams because I didn't probably have a full 2 tablespoons. So I didn't measure it, but again, sometimes you've just got to go with what you think is the closest option. So now I've moved over for it. So I was in the diary. Now to enter a food, you move over to foods. Now this is on the desktop because I find it easier to do this stuff on the desktop, but you can definitely do it on the mobile as well. So you go to foods and then you go to custom foods and you want to add a food. And so you've got it all on the panel in front of you. So you just want to call it something. These are called spirals, fermented Spanish beetroot. So the serving size is 30 grams. So I just pop that in and I'm going to do 1 serving in here. So it asks for kilocalories, which is what we use in Cronometer, but a lot of the Australian foods is going to be kilojoules. So you also need to convert kilojoules to calories. It's quite easy because they have it all here for you. You want to do a kilocalorie and 1 serve is 52, so that's 12. So we just pop it in here into the kilocalories as 12. The carbs is 2. We don't usually have the fibre, always have the fibre on our label, so I just leave the fibre if it's not there. Fat is 0 and protein is 0.5. And then up the top here you can click save changes, so that will now be in my custom foods, and there's 2 ways you can add it to your diary. You can add it to your diary from entering it in here, but I will show you how you access that in your diary. So if you go back to the diary and you add food. Across the top part here, it has all of the different options, and you want to choose custom because we've custom made this one. And you want to find, these are all my custom ones, but you want to find that one that we just entered, which is this one here. One serving at 30 grams, and that's my breakfast. So that's super easy to do once you know what you're doing. And so far I've had 4 grams of net carbs today. So now the lunch. So lunch was salami. Now I have the salami that I tend to use in here, so I'll pop that in, and I did 100 grams, so it's 4 servings of that. Add that in, and then we did 4 always fresh were the olives that I used. So often they are there, and now I'm in custom, so you got to move back over to always fresh. Just choose ones that make the best sense. They were green ones. I think they were pretty close to Sicilian, so we'll choose those. And I did 40 grams. So usually you have the gram option. So if your serving is different to the serving size it suggests in Cronometer, just change it and add in the grams. Usually you can do that. And we had the pickles, they were also always fresh. Dill pickles. So we'll choose those, and I did 30 grams, which is a serve. So you could do grams and add in 30, or you could choose the serving size in that circumstance. And I did mini cucumbers. Just choose any of them, they should all be the same. I'll actually choose one of these, and I did 100 grams, so I'll just change this to 100. Done. Tomatoes, so here I would put cherry tomatoes, and I usually choose this one, and 50. And the mayo, so the mayo I used was Sir Kensington's because it's the avocado oil mayo that we like, and I did a tablespoon. Okay, so that is my breakfast and my lunch all entered in, and that has the net carbs at 7.3, so still allows plenty for dinner, which I think is reasonably low carb. I'm gonna head off to work now. When I make my dinner, I will enter dinner in, and that will be a recipe. So I will show you how we enter a recipe into Cronometer, and then I'll enter it in and I'll show you the final kind of macros. Okay, I am at work. It is lunchtime, and I am about to have my lunch, which is super exciting. Exactly what I packed this morning. The only thing that I didn't show you that I packed is this, which is my beet kvass shot. That is also a part of my gut health. If you haven't checked out my video where I talk about my dairy-free journey, I'll pop it up in the links because it's worth watching and understanding why I'm doing some of this gut health stuff. But I'm gonna have my lunch because I'm starving. It's 12:15. I'm ready for lunch, and I will check back in when I'm having dinner, and hopefully the lamb shanks are cooking away nicely. Home. The lamb shanks still have an hour or two to go in the slow cooker, so while I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to enter the lamb shanks into Cronometer. Okay, so now I need to just enter the lamb shanks as a recipe. So what we need to do, go into foods, custom recipe, add recipe. So you want to change the name to slow. Here, slow cooker lamb shanks. Now this recipe serves 4, so we want to add the serving size is 4. So that will give us a serving once we enter everything into here. So what you want to do is add the ingredients. So you want to do lamb shanks, and we want to eat the visible fat. So we're going to choose that, and we're going to, this is where it's a little bit tricky because of the, this is where it gets a little hard. So it's how much am I going to be eating? So there was 4 lamb shanks, and we want to be putting in 4 lamb shanks into this. Let's see if there's a better option. Let's see if this gives me. So it was approximately 1.5 kilos of lamb shanks. Let's see if we can do it with the grams. 1,500. So do it that way. You've got to get a little creative because sometimes the stuff that's in here won't quite fit. So this is the easiest because I can put grams. Next up, olive oil. This will be a little bit easier because there will be a generic option there, and I should be able to do tablespoons, so 2 tablespoons. And then, so we just go through and we add each ingredient. Salt, and it's a teaspoon. So yes, you might think this takes a little bit of time, but the beauty of it is once you've done this once for this recipe, it's there for whenever you want it. And yes, so that's it entered there. So this is for the full recipe. You want to change it to a serving so you can see what, so it's 8 carbs, 2 fiber. So we then save it, and like I showed you before, you can either add it to the diary from here, or you can go to diary and add food, and you'll find it in the custom section. It will be there. Slow cooker lamb shanks, there it is, 1 serving, add. So that has me at, as you can see in this section here, 13 net carbs for the day. I am going to have a side with it that we, Erica made on the weekend. It's already cooked. It's just some asparagus with some hazelnut on top. I'm going to add that in, but I'm going to add it as a food instead of a recipe because I already know the macros because we've worked them out already. So the other option that you can do, if you already know the macros of a recipe, you can go into custom foods, add the food. I'm going to add it as, we called it asparagus with hazelnut crumb. And the benefit of this is I don't have to add in every ingredient. I can say that the serving size is 1 because we've worked it out as 1 serving size. So that's all we need to put in there. The kilocalories are 125. The carbs are 5. The fat is 11. And the protein is 4. And the fiber, you also want to put the fiber in, guys, for the net carbs, so 3 fiber, and we can save it. And this time I'm going to add it straight to the diary. 1 serving, 2 net carbs. So as you can see, I am now sitting at 15 net carbs for the day. So that's the way that you enter it all in. If I decide to have something sweet with my dinner, a couple of pieces of dark chocolate or a few blueberries, I can add that in and I've still got a little bit of room to move. So that is how I track and enter my food into Cronometer. So I know we did a video on Cronometer before, and I will pop a link up in the little card thing that goes up here. But this has gone a little bit more into a whole day, how you track a whole day, how easy it is. Just got to plan ahead and you'll be fine with it. I will check back in once my dinner is ready so I can show you what the lamb shanks look like. Hey, dinner is ready. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got the asparagus and the lamb shanks. It looks absolutely delicious. I haven't tried any yet. I'll just try a little bit. Get an olive. So good. Erica doesn't eat lamb, so that was the main reason why I did the lamb shanks tonight, and I'll have like 3 or 4 lunches ready to go for, or actually 3 lunches for the rest of the week. So that is super exciting for me. I wanted to take the opportunity to thank Erica for everything that she does for me, because I am super grateful that she looks after the dinners most nights. I never have to think about it. I know that they're going to be keto, and I know that they're going to be delicious. So I'm very lucky, and I'm very thankful for Erica for always looking after me with our meals. I do things as well, but I'm very lucky with her looking after the meals. I hope you found this useful. The tracking, the meals, quick and simple for someone who's not like a massive cook. So that's why I did the video. If you've liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you like us doing ones separate from each other, let us know. I think we do better together. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.